What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to J. Cool.
Laz responded, this proposal is similar to what was contained in Clause 11 of Bill 10 of 2019, which ultimately failed to pass. We know one of the biggest reasons. You locked yourselves up at Community House to actually abscond the voting of Bill 10. And I had an interview with President Hichilema then asking in particular about Article 52.6, and he answered me. It's on record, the video is out there. He said he sees nothing wrong with this article. It should stay as it is. Why should it change? So what is the change of heart now? What is the change of position?
First of all, what I have tried to emphasize, Costa, is that a constitution is a live document. Yes, it's sacred in the sense that it is a national document, but it is a live document.
When it suits you?
When it suits the situation.
So why does it? So it's the contents of the constitution have not changed. Only the time has changed that now you're in power. So how does it suit you now?
I don't think it's about suiting us. It's about saying, do we want a situation where we have to continue refiling when a member who may be sponsored or...
But this is what you said was okay with you when you were in opposition. This is what you said as UPND. You said you saw nothing wrong. It was okay.
Well,
so what has changed now? How does it suit you?
The president having said that, and I'll leave you to have that conversation with him. But where
it's there, Minister.
Again,
it's there, and it's on record.
I will not argue with what is on record.
And in fact, not the president. You rejected Bill 10. Clause 11, which stated this as UPND. Why now do you support it?
I think we did just say no to a few clauses, not just that one. But the reason why where I'm sitting, especially as Minister of Justice now, I have a more bifocal lens, I guess, if you may call it that, to look at it to say this can disrupt the nation's security. This can put us in a situation where a president can continue using that system, or just people who are...
So you didn't see it back then?
Well, I wasn't Minister of Justice.
No, but as an MP, okay. you were in Parliament.
I was in Parliament.
You didn't see this then?
Well, I didn't say it personally. I have to accept that if I'm going to be honest. But where I'm sitting from right now, that is a gap that we need to fix.
So you agree that as UPND, you threw the baby with the bathwater in terms of Bill 10 because you were rejecting it because it was a PF bill and not because you were genuinely, as people's representatives, looking for what is good and bad out of that constitution?
You know what? I have tried to read some of what we said no to and why we felt that it wasn't the time for us to agree to that. What you need to remember is that UPND government were part of the conversations in the beginning. What we did disagree upon, that time we were in opposition, I should say, UPND party, it is the things as they progress. We thought that there were a lot of things being added to the bill, which I may not even have the capacity to go through in this evening. So really, I think it is important that sometimes you may look at things differently, and when you sit in another angle, you look at things differently.
So what are you telling? What are you telling? What are you telling?
Is this a good thing?
What are you telling the people of Zambia tonight, when we have to save every little coin towards development? We spent money on Bill 10. You rejected it. You're bringing the same bill years later. What are you telling them has changed?
Not the same bill.
It is the same bill.
It is not the same bill.
This proposal is similar.
Contentious issues, if we look at them objectively.
But you're trying to revise what Bill 10 was trying to revise.
I don't think so. I think there is some departure in some things. You just alluded to the issue of the Constitution, the delimitation, because that delimitation
but this
was not part of it.
This one on 52.6 was in Bill 10. The reintroduction of members of parliament into council, it was in Bill 10 under clause 52 of Bill 10. It was there. You look at the issue of providing for the hearing and determination of an election petition. It was in Bill 10 under clause 30. So
I don't remember that one, but I could be wrong because you have the cited.
Yes, it was providing for the hearing and determination of an election petition. The Constitution in Article 73, 101. So we're talking about the time frame, so that what happened in 2016 does not repeat itself.
Exactly.
But even Bill 10, was saying let's amend this in clause 30. So you're bringing the same things back. Harmonization of the term of office for member of parliament. Clause 22 of Bill 10 had the same. But this is the same Bill 10 you had rejected.
Did they have the term limit for the mayors? Did they have the issue of the Attorney General and the Secretary General?
No,
I'm just asking you.
Those are new things.
Did we have the definition of the child which has created inconsistency? I'm just saying there is also a
the removal of the term limit for the office of mayor. Yes, this proposal was equally part of Bill 10 of 2019.
I don't remember it.
It was there.
I don't remember it.
Because you didn't even want to read it. You didn't want to read it, Minister.
The point is, I am seated in a position where I am forced to read the Constitution.
No,
at least for me.
The question for the people of Zambia is
to say why are things that are non-contagious.
Why are you bringing back the same things which you rejected just a few years ago?
Then they make
now
sense.
They make sense because you're in power?
No, because you know what? The Constitution is a live document. Just because they were not as live or as needed as then.
But what Bill 10 was trying to amend was that Constitution that you have.
Absolutely. And they didn't garner the support. So now we are also saying.
But you're party to the problem because you rejected the same things you're bringing back,
I don't think
Minister.
So.
How does your position change now that you're in power?
Well, first of all, I feel that some of the issues, especially an issue like the quota system or affirmative action, whatever system will come to, is very critical for me. You are asking me or you're asking the party. But I am saying, as a Minister of Justice, as someone who has advocated for women inclusion in governance and in political space, that is a very critical issue for me. As a member of Parliament...
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, absolutely.
As a person who sat in Parliament prior to 2021, didn't Bill 10 have any proposals towards proportional representation?
Yeah, it did have.
It did have.
It did have, absolutely. But also we did have things that we did not agree upon.
So if it did have,
yes,
as a gender activist, why did you not support it?
Because it had other things which we didn't agree upon. And
which you decided to lock yourselves at Community House and not represent the voices of the people of Gambia.
By the way, no one was locked at Community House. People wanted to be there because they were agreeing upon.
Was it what the people of Kembe told you to do? That when you debate a constitution on our behalf, you should lock yourself somewhere and not participate in either voting for or not on behalf of the people?
Can I correct the impression of locking? You cannot lock anyone against their will. That would be unlawful.
Okay, absconding.
Okay? Yeah,
absconding by going to Community House.
We chose to make sure that we were together so that we agree on the terms that we agreed upon. Now, I've told you, maybe there is a way of reckoning. It's time for reckoning. Whatever is good that was in Bill 10, we are not ashamed to say it can show itself.
So you're apologizing to the Zambian people that you're now hypocrites who are trying to play different. Because there was proportional representation in Bill 10.
No, just because there were some bills which are found in the commissioner's reports, just because they also came in. By the way, let's give credit where it's due. Even them, they did look at some of these commissions.
What was bad in the proportional representation being proposed in Bill 10?
What I remember, I personally, from a very limited interaction that I had at that time, because I wasn't in this position, so I didn't pay as much attention maybe I should have. It's because I believe that there was more of things added which we were not agreeing upon.
For example?
For example, I think one of the allegations, which I actually went and checked this time around, was the issue that the same argument people were giving us is that the term of the president was going to expand. And now because I'm able to go back to the Constitution, and I got to Bill 10, I said, can you show me where it says, or can I see where it says, because I'm not seeing it, and they were saying it's in Article 30, that the president also wanted the term to be expanded. That was President Lungu then. I didn't find it. So from where I was sitting from, as a person who has believed strongly in good governance, I was saying, why would we want to go back there when we are just coming from a one-party state and now we are saying we are a democratic state? So I think even this time, Costa, my encouragement to the Zambian people, let's read the Constitution. Because if I also had done a good job, maybe I would argue in a much better manner. That is why we have said these are only provisions. Let laws respond. Let people interact. You question people like me and bring others as well who disagree, who agree, so that we see the way forward.
So you took a political party line rather than a view of the people on issues that you're now bringing back, because you didn't fully read. You admit.
First of all,
you didn't fully read. You didn't fully understand.
When did we have the referendum as well? That was another issue.
In 2016,
yes.
It was voted down.
Yes, because
and you had an NDF where people's representatives were represented, and that matter came to you as parliamentarians to finally enact it as per the process.
Absolutely, and we didn't agree upon certain things. I think what is important even here, it is to give credit. In the same vein, we are going to go through that process. If the PF people do not agree, or the PF representative, on behalf of their people, they have the right to say no.
And this is where
this has to be agreed upon by the people.
And this is where I was reading this, that for 30 years we've been going to back and forth. You've mentioned the commissions.
That is the point.
That process,
that is the point.
Process must protect content.
Yes.
Why should we let a handful of people, 150 of you, that we voted into office to represent us, and then when you go around consultations and we the people submit, then you come again to open this document and begin to disagree with what we the people have told you we want?
Oh.
Thanks for tuning in to JQ News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates on tech, politics, and everything in between. Until next time, stay cool.